In this video, I'm going to show you some of the best keyboard shortcuts to speed up your editing in DaVinci Resolve. Hey, I'm Andrew, and on this channel, you'll find editing tutorials, lighting tips, and gear reviews to help you level up your content. Hit subscribe if you're ready to make better videos without feeling overwhelmed. Let's jump into it. All right, so I have a project loaded here from a podcast that I produce at my local church. And the first keyboard shortcut that'll help you speed up your workflow is hitting the spacebar for play. So if you click the spacebar on the timeline, it'll start playing. And as it just keeps going, you can hit it again and it'll stop. So that's the first keyboard shortcut you need to know, because you're going to jump back and forth trying to make your video play and then stop it and just listen to that section or see what you've done in the edit. You want to be able to use the space bar every time you do this and not actually have to come up here and click the play and stop button. You don't want to do that. Use the space bar. All right, the second one would be to use the blade tool, which is the shortcut B. And as you can see, it just switched from the pointer right here to the blade, which is right here. So using B will allow you to, wherever you are, you can see this red line on the timeline. It's going to cut your footage wherever you're at. So if I wanted to cut right here, I could click it. It's going to make a cut. I can make a cut, make a cut, make a cut. And that's how you can go through and quickly cut the section of the video that you want, put it together, delete what you don't want, and you just use the blade tool every time. Remember, keyboard shortcut B. All right, that immediately brings me to the third keyboard shortcut is how do you get back from the blade tool to the select one? You don't want to have to go up here and click this little arrow. So the shortcut key is A. So when you click A, it's going to go right back to be able to drag and move your clips around without cutting them. So that'll quickly get you back from the blade tool. All right, the fourth shortcut is the snap toggle. So that is N on your keyboard. If you notice on my screen, if I'm dragging this around, it snaps to certain areas. You can see that gray line snapping to different footage or different layers on the timeline, like it's snapping to these edges up here. If I click N, it's going to untoggle the snap. So now I can just glide it across anywhere in the timeline and it doesn't snap to any other footage at all. And then if I click in again, it enables it. Again, you can find that in the toolbar, but it's just faster to be able to learn your shortcuts so that you can move around in the timeline quicker with your edits. All right, the fifth shortcut is ripple delete, and that's going to be shift delete on your keyboard. What that's going to do is it's going to take the space that you have selected and it's going to remove it from the timeline and move everything that is further down the timeline up to the point where you deleted that selection. Okay, so if I'm going to delete this clip and I wanted to just delete it and have the gap there, I'd click delete and it would just disappear. Nothing moves. This clip doesn't move over to match this line right here. It stays there. But if I wanted to use ripple delete, which would be shift delete on your keyboard, select it, hit shift delete, and it's going to move this clip over and butt it up against the other clip that you had in front of the selection. So that's a really quick way of just deleting things and not having to drag each of your clips back over to where they need to be. It just automatically moves them over for you. So that's the fifth one. All right, the sixth shortcut that I think is really important is to link and unlink your audio. So that's going to be Command Shift L. So if you can hit Command, so you have to select, let's say we're going to select this clip right here, Command Shift L. It's going to unlink them. So I can individually drag them, and obviously it's going to show you, hey, you're 45 seconds or whatever it is off of your audio. So you got to be sure that you don't want your audio synced up, but maybe you want a different part of it. Maybe you want it a little out of sync, depending on what you're doing. This just also unlinks it. But it also, what it does is allows you to move this clip down and into a different layer and not adjust the layering of the video layer. Because if you do that while it's linked, so let's just select it and hit Command Shift L, which is going to link these clips. If I were to drag this down, it's going to move that video layer as well. So you don't want to have to do that. The other thing that you can do is also, if nothing's selected, you can hold Alt or Option and you can click on one and you can drag that now that you've selected it without fully unlinking. And when you deselect and you come back up, they're still selected. You've just made the adjustments. So that's just a little bonus. With that, hold Alt or Option and click on what layer you want, video or audio. Make the movements, whether it's moving to a different layer on the timeline or sliding it left and right in time. You can make those adjustments quick with the Alt or Option key. or you can use Shift or Command Shift L to be able to unlink them or link them back. The 7th shortcut is Insert Edit. And so this is going to take a clip and it's going to drop it in your timeline right where your playhead is. So if you're out here in the timeline, you're saying, okay, I want to drop this clip up here, right here where my playhead is, you're going to click F9 on your keyboard and it's going to drop that in. And what's going to do is it's going to split the original clip where it was, push whatever was behind it down the timeline. So let me zoom out so you can see that a little better. It just inserted this clip right here, pushed this down the timeline, kept this over here. That's what it did. If you take it back, there it is. That's really key if you're trying to just quickly make a rough cut. You want to put something, so if you had 2 different cuts, put that playhead right in between it, drop that clip down in the middle, and it moves everything to the right, and you don't have to worry about having to drag everything back and forth on the timeline. All right, the 8th shortcut kind of plays along with the last one, but this one is when you want to just drop your clip at the end of the timeline after everything that's already on the timeline. So instead of inserting the clip in where your playhead is, it's going to just drop it no matter where your playhead is at the end of the timeline after all your clips. So that shortcut will be Shift plus F12. So you hold Shift and hit F12 and it's going to drop that clip at the end of your timeline right behind your clips that are already on there. So this is one of the biggest ways that I can quickly just drag and do a rough cut edit. Like if you have a shot or you have a video that has multiple clips that you just want to put in a row, don't drag them down. I mean, I know it's easy to drag them down, but that takes like 3-4 seconds. This takes like milliseconds. All right. So you're just going through your project pool up here. You're looking at all your clips, just select one, boom, Shift F12, boom, Shift F12. And it's just dropping it down there. You don't even have to do anything. You don't have to drag it. You don't have to think about it. It's there. So that'll help speed up your rough cuts a lot. All right. The 9th shortcut is to zoom in and out on your timeline quickly using the scroll wheel on your mouse if you have that. So I'm not sure what it is on window. I've seen it where it's been Command plus the scroll wheel, but mine is set to Option scroll wheel. So you'll have to double check that. And you can also go into the preferences and adjust your keyboard shortcuts and what they are as well to be whatever you want. But I have Option plus scroll wheel, and you can see here on the timeline, I'm zoomed all the way out, and you can kind of watch this. And if I hold Alt here and scroll, it zooms way in on the timeline, and you're able to just quickly get a huge view of the whole timeline and then zoom back in to where your playhead is just by holding Alt and then scrolling the wheel on your mouse. All right, the last shortcut that I have for you is to add markers to your timeline. So a lot of times when I'm going through and I'm watching an interview or something else, I'm making cuts and doing the rough cuts and all that, but I also want to make markers. And if you're handing this off to maybe a different editor or something else, you want to make markers and even maybe notes or something. So on the timeline, as you're playing through, you can, stop it, you can keep playing it, and you can hit M on your keyboard, and that's going to make a marker here. And it also shows you up here, that's a marker. If you double tap that, it's going to allow you to create a note with that marker. So you can name that marker. You can put a note here. You can add a, color, and that way you can just flag different things that you want to address in the edit. And that might be just something you do for yourself, as an edit takes maybe a few days, or if you're doing a really big project, you want to remember some of these things. Or what I use it for, because I just do videos for YouTube mostly, I just kind of mark where I want B-roll in and out. So I kind of have a section where it's like, okay, here's where B-roll needs to pop in. And that's where I put a marker. I don't necessarily put a note on it because I kind of know it's just me working on the project, but I put markers in where I need B-rolls. So that's the 10th and final shortcut that helps you speed up your editing workflow. If you found this video helpful, check out this video here to keep leveling up your editing workflow. And drop a comment below. What questions do you have about editing in Resolve or editing in general? I'd love to hear them. And until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video.